What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are trying to figure out where the fuck a PCB is gonna go in our handmade Xbox controller. So, background context here is that I want to make an Xbox controller for no real good reason, other than I wanted to write my own Xbox controller firmware because, I wanted to have the paddles on the back of my existing Xbox controller. I wanted them to be their own buttons instead of remapping in firmware to face buttons. So then, obviously, the next step is to just make an Xbox controller from scratch, right? And so here's current state. We started by modeling a little guy out of clay. Hello. Please, I want to make this one invisible. There you go. And then I want to turn off this blue shit. So, I just grabbed a blob of clay and pushed it around until it felt kind of okay in my hand. The controller looks kind of fucking weird because I hold my controller weird when I'm playing shooters. My right hand kind of wraps around the top to get kind of more above the right stick for accuracy. And so that means that I don't actually rest my hand on this right nub ever, so I just didn't put it on. I want paddles on the back, and I want the paddles to kind of be like triggers, so I kind of just found where those will sit. And then eventually, we remodeled this thing in Blender, printed it, found out that we need to add a little bit of grip texture here, so we did that. But this is kind of a shape that feels good in my hand. I have this thing mostly printed. It's the print kind of failed a little bit, but holding this feels quite good to me. All of these triggers are pressable. And so, we've button placements that feel kind of okay as well, just cut holes in the front to see if they felt kind of right to my hand, And so, that's where we are. And so next step, I think, is now that we have kind of an overall shape, is we need to make a PCB to put electronics on, right? Because the controller's got to do some stuff. And so I think today I want to just figure out where the fuck that PCB is going to go. So, first of all, here, we'll bring this guy back. So this is where I've kind of decided all the buttons are going to go. Where the PCB is vertically is probably determined by the stick locations, I would assume, right? So we're gonna have this stick coming out here, right? And it's gonna go into these little guys I bought from AliExpress. Let's see if I can get one out and show. Well, it's in this tight little plastic bag, which is a little annoying, but I've almost got out. I gotta pull. Here we go. Okay, this guy. So this is a Xbox or a PlayStation 5 Hall sensor replacement for the potentiometers. And so, this guy, he's gotta basically sit on top of the PCB, bloop, and then I have this PS5 stick grippy replacements that you kind of stick on top, bloop, right? And this sits on the PCB, and I want this to be on my thumb. We got to figure out, where that will determine where the board sits vertically. So we'll kind of figure out this box will go here. It's looks kind of like this. Then once we have that, placement of the front buttons will be really easy, right? These are just directly under all of the holes for the buttons that we've put already, so there's nothing really to worry about there. But the way that the triggers are going to work is kind of a little tricky, right? So, the way we have a little enclosure that I've tested. Oh shit, sorry, I was on full cam again. God damn it. I was drawing, right? We're gonna have little stick here, buttons here. Dude, I keep doing this. But anyways, we built this little trigger button that we can press. So this guy sits in this little hole. There's a little bit of pressure from the PCB that's supposed to sit on this little guy here. And when I press the button here, my finger holding it down moves a little bit, right? Wow, exciting. So that guy has to sit kind of here, right? So we're gonna have a button stick out like this. He's got, some stick that's pointing up this way. And this thing's got to smack the back of the PCB, right? So we're going to put a button here, and then when I press this way, this stick presses up on the button. And so we have to figure out where these buttons are going to go, right? That's quite important. And so my goal here is to use the same trigger mechanism for all 6 paddles, right? And so we got to figure out, how that's going to work. Probably we're going to have to like extrude this a little bit so that there's, oops, that's not, whatever. Extrude this guy a little bit so that there's space for these sticks to press, or maybe the pinky buttons might work a little differently. Maybe we'll kind of bring this in as well so that it's like more vertical and we don't need so much like backward space. But figuring out kind of the shape of this line depends on the height of the controller as well. So I think plan of action is to figure out this guy, where like his dimensions, maybe model him as well so that we can figure out where the holes in the PCB are going to go at the bottom, right? Then once we have that, we can kind of figure out this height. Then we can kind of put all of the triggers in the whole places they're supposed to go, amend them so that they kind of hit the right location this way, and then figure it from there. That's the plan. Is this for one hand or some shit? No, it's just that my right hand kind of like rotates over the top a little bit just when I play games to get like a better control of the right stick. And so I'm just doing it that way. Just doing it that way. Just whatever feels good in my hand, man. What's the point of making my own Xbox controller if I can't make it in a way that's comfortable for me and my fucking weird ass grip? Did you model the controller completely in Blender? Well, we started with clay. We started with this guy and then remodeled in Blender. Then for the like trigger assembly, that's kind of made in CAD and then stitched in after, right? So we kind of have like this block represents like where there should be a hole in the controller, right? So we use that guy as like, hello. We're still chilling, right? Yeah. So, well, I think we're good. Hello, can I please move? Okay, yeah. So this block is like where the hole will go in the controller, and then the rest of the assembly is like modeled in CAD and then kind of like stitched into the walls of the controller later is kind of the approach I'm taking. I don't know if that's like a good approach, but it's working. So that's kind of hype. Okay. Step 1. We got to look at our little guy from AliExpress. PS5, these guys. Can we just like maybe take this picture? Can I just want like I want this picture for reference. This one. Okay. So let's just slap this somewhere so that I can use this as a reference when talking to you guys. But we need to kind of put this in Blender. Are you using Blender instead of FreeCAD, or is it like for different things? I'm using FreeCAD for anything precise and Blender for anything that is like... So the problem here is that this shell is like sculpted, right? I'm kind of just like freeballing the shape of this thing to fit my hands based off of the model. And so I don't really know how to like sculpt and like modify something artsy way in FreeCAD. FreeCAD, I feel like I understand how to use it for like precise, make this shape, then this shape, then this shape, and then this shape, and like stick them all together. But this is like not that. So I'm using FreeCAD for anything that I want precision and like mutability, right? Something that I can like work backwards and adjust later. And then importing into Blender to like stitch it all together. Maybe that's wrong, but it seems to be working for now. In fact, we do need a FreeCAD instance up now if we're going to model this housing. So really the important part here is the pad locations, right? Basically like where these pins are going to poke through. This we need to get right. So it's those guys plus, you know, this set, and then this set, as well as all of these like 4 outside leggies, right? So, I guess I'm going to model this in FreeCAD, I guess. We don't have to get like any of the shape up here correct. We don't really care about that at all, right? We just care about like pad placement for now, and then height, right? So let's do something. I guess I got to start taking some measurements. So I'm not going to bother showing this because I think it's kind of hard, but let's start with the width of like the metal box, which is around, we'll say 12 millimeters. Okay, so we'll say this 12 millimeters. Then I guess we don't really know if it's square, I guess, so I'm actually not sure which side I measured. I assume it's square, but I don't actually know, so yeah, 12 on that side, 12 on that side. Okay, so this is also, can we use maybe a different color here? Blue. Light blue? What is like easy to see here? Purple. This is also 12. Which means that we can start with maybe something on the XY plane. Oh my god, I've rotated. Where the fuck am I? Top down. Hello. Here we go. Okay, something on the XY plane, and we'll just make like a 12 by 12 square. So this guy, oopsies, I didn't even click that. This 12, this 12, and then I assume we want this thing centered. I assume. So can we do like a little, maybe symmetry? Is that the best way? I don't know, man. Symmetric around, I think you have to click it in order. So click this point, this point, this point. Say symmetric, please. And then do the same on this axis. This. Symmetric. And then delete duplicate constraints. Booyah. And we extrude this now by some amount, which I don't know. So how tall is this guy? Let's say 1 centimeter looks around right. Okay, hype. And then I think that we want to maybe keep the center. I don't know where I want the origin of this thing to be. Probably I want the origin to be here. Right damn centered. And on the bottom, where it's going to sit on the board. I think that makes the most sense. Because then you can, like, it should be easy to place that way. Which I think is fine. Let's see, where the fuck is the origin in this thing? So when we, oh yeah, so here we go, hype. So this is, we have origin here. That's sick. Okay, cool. Okay, next we gotta tack on. We gotta figure out like where these pins are, probably. Is that what's next? Maybe we would do these outer pins first, these ones here. So these guys kind of extrude a little more from the tippy top. It's looking like maybe 13 millimeters from the top, so an extra 3. So we can write that down. This is 3 millimeters here. And I guess where are they coming out? I don't know if it's like right on the corners. right? Like, it really depends on what the fuck we measure at the top, right? The bottom doesn't really quite match, like the boxy, we have like this like silver box on the top that we measured, but I'm not 100% sure how that relates to this bottom here, so I guess I'll just measure on the bottom as well. Uh, dude, what the fuck? Wait, how thick did I say this was? Did I say 12? I did. I said 12. So that makes more sense based off what I'm measuring here. So 12 is... It's so hard to tell. Hold on. I wish I should get calipers, dude. Calipers, pretty hype. So I think this is 12, which then I assume probably means... Oh, you can kind of see where the metal wraps. So that lines up, right? The metal ends here and here, which probably means that, like, this is also probably 12 here. Probably. Let me confirm that. Yeah, that seems right. Okay, so we're trying to figure out, I guess, these things that are kind of sticking down here, these are kind of the edges of the metal box, right? So I think what they did is they had like one like flat sheet of metal that probably looked like this, right? Hand wavy. We're not being very precise here, but And then they folded all of these down, right? They folded all of these guys in like this, and these are the same as like these. So these are like guaranteed to be 12 at the 12 millimeter marks as well, I think. And then their orientation. Oh, only two sides of these have them. So I lied about this metal sheet. It probably looked more like this. So they're kind of... Yeah. I don't know how thick these are. They're 3 millimeters long. How wide? 1 millimeter wide. And like less than a millimeter fat. So we're gonna just like say 0.5 millimeters. Doesn't really matter. So we're gonna call this like 3 millimeters by 1 millimeter by 0.5 millimeters. Okay. And then it doesn't matter which way we orient them yet. Eventually it will matter. So if these are on the outside surface, then it means... hello? Create sketch on face, please. Why? Oh, not part of active body. Why are there two bodies? Did I create a new one by mistake? There we go. Okay. So we want to do something like project the existing geometry onto this thing. Boom, 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 boom. And then we can start saying that we want these guys to be, kind of on the corners. Boom, 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 right? Overconstrained, fuck you. And then we want to make sure that we have the dimensions of this right. So we said that this is going to be 0.5 millimeters. This is going to be 1 millimeter. Eyeballing it, I'm not sure I agree. This might be smaller. Right? This could be like this, or like this even, maybe like a 0.3. I don't know. I guess as long as we overestimate, it should be okay. Right? Because this is going to kind of determine the size of the hole in the PCB, probably. Okay. So I guess let's just say 0.5, even though I think that's too big. No, that looks way too big. I'm going to say 0.4, just for my own sanity. Okay. Can we... Is there like a mirror thing that we can do here? Can we mirror the sketch? Oh, we have to mirror objects or like 3D things. So I guess we pad this motherfucker out first by like its 3 millimeters. And then we mirror... Oh, I can only mirror like the whole fucking shebang? Maybe? Let's see. Oh no, okay. That's hype. So we mirror pad 1. And then... I actually don't know, but I guess it's fine either way. If it's mirroring the whole thing, it doesn't really matter. Only additive and subtractive features can be transformed. Can I mirror this again? Okay. That seems fine. But then I can't mirror the mirror, right? They're not letting that happen. Can I mirror like the sketch? I mean, we could also just add it to the sketch better. Yeah, okay, let's just do that because I don't know if we can do what I'm trying to do. So it's fine. It's fine. We'll just do this. This guy's got to be... this guy's got too many constraints. Okay, fuck him. Hype. Do the same shit down here. Add another box. Boom, 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 boom. Over constrained. Boom. And then one more. Please, sir. Box, 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 box. Over constrained. Delete those fuckers. Okay, and then we're going to make some like equals constraints, right? So we're going to take this. We're going to say that like all 4 of these walls have to be equal length. Okay. And then, I don't know why sometimes shift clicking doesn't fucking work. It's really fucking annoying. And then we do the same thing with these guys. Equals. All right, fully constrained. Hype. Good enough for now. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really convinced this looks right. I'm not convinced that this is 12 by 12 by 10 because it does not look the right shape to me. Maybe it is. I'm just going to re-double check. So it would be the height that would be wrong. No, I mean, that's right. Okay. So that's 10 tall for sure. 12 wide for sure. Okay. This is why we measure. Because eyeballing it, we'd get it wrong. Okay. Maybe next we tack on these like little yellow extrusions. Oopsies. So we have to make sure that these guys go on this side for one, and then because here the pins are aligned, and then we go counterclockwise to the next one. So we want to do this, like, I guess just, it doesn't really matter. We have to pick two faces. Oh, it does matter. The clockwise one has to be on the flat with the pins here. Okay. I guess I measure the approximate size of this. So this is maybe like almost exactly 1 centimeter. Like here. This is 1 centimeter. And then height wise, it just lines up with the top and bottom. So I guess we pick this face, new sketch, and we draw a box again, projected onto some of the external geometry that we care about. Probably like this shit, and then we probably care about the x-axis, but we don't have to project that. So maybe we can get away with only one projected line, which is the top line, I think. And so we go, you know, two parts of the box are constrained to that line, two parts are constrained to the x-axis. And then we probably want to say that, you know, these things are symmetric over the y-axis, probably. I thought many components had 3D models available. Is this part of the modeling experience? This won't. I did check. So this just like came from AliExpress, right? This is like an internal PS5 component that someone's copy pasted and then sold on AliExpress. And so I don't think that this is like a thing that we just have models for, right? Because like Sony's not going to publish their shit, and the AliExpress guys are like, the point of these things is usually as like a replacement for a thing that already exists. So like nobody needs to measure this shit, right? Nobody's making this. I'm just like repurposing this for my own thing, you know? I could be wrong, but that's my understanding at least. Width-wise, what we talking? You know, 2 millimeters ish. Okay. So we close this, pad it by 2. All right, hype. We're starting to look good somewhere. Let's do the same thing on this face. We project this guy, make a little box. Bop, 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 bop. Over constrained, delete. This we want to be horizontal. He doesn't like that constraint for some fucking reason. Oh, it's this, maybe this guy we have to make horizontal. No, he doesn't like that either. Maybe it's this guy has to be vertical. There we go. And then the same shit where this is a 10 millimeters. And then this is this centered? Yeah, fuck it. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Boom, boom, boom. Symmetric, please. Bop. And then he's fully constrained, so I guess we're chilling. And then we pad this guy up by 2 millimeters as well. Boom. Hype. Okay. So now pin locations for the bottom of this guy. Right? Where the fuck are these? So I guess maybe measuring distance from the two sides, distance from the front is probably the play. So I think we're looking at 2 millimeters. I think it's 2.55, 7.5. I think. So I think this distance, center to center, 2.5, and then distance from edge to here is 5. That's what I think based off what I just measured. But again, like, I should get fucking calipers. And then I guess we probably also need like the pin dimensions, which I think are probably all sub-millimeters. So I'm just like, fuck me, I guess. I guess maybe like around a millimeter thick, which is very kind of them. Very kind of them. And then what about like depth into this? We didn't measure that. Centered-ish. Yeah, it looks like it's like 1 millimeter in on a 2 millimeter thick bad boy. So I think we're chilling. I'd like to create a sketch, please. Thank you. And okay, so we're gonna project probably this piece of geometry and this one. And we need to draw some fucking boxy boys. Oops. Please be horizontally constrained, sir. Okay. So we think that there's, I guess we kind of want like, I would love to be able to work relative to the center of these. So maybe we'll just do something like this. Hear me out. Hear me out. Bop, 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 bop. These are not real lines. These are just construction lines. And if I say all of these construction lines are the fucking same Zos, then that makes it so that I have a center point of this guy to work with. And I can say that the distance between here and here is 2.5 millimeters. Hype. Okay. Now we also want to say that this was 1 millimeter. And that means that this is like really thin. We'll say 0.5. I think it's thinner than that, but fuck it. Okay. Then can I copy like, what happens if I copy paste this shit? No, that's fucked. I guess I just have to make it several times. I don't really know. I don't know a way around it. I'm sure it's possible. I wonder maybe we make the without constraints relative to the corner and then maybe copy pasting it's easier. Right? If we just kind of do like all of this part first. Let's get away from the x-axis because we're gonna like fuck that shit up. Okay. Bop, 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 bop. And we select all these fuckers, and you guys are all the same. Okay. Then he's like redundant constraint. Okay. Bop, 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 bop. Yeah. There we go. So now we can kind of copy paste this a little bit. Hype. And kind of. Why can't I move this anymore? Hello? Oh, here we go. There we go. Oh, I should have set the outside dimensions first before copy pasting as well. Uh-huh. Cool. And then maybe I should be not doing it this way. Maybe I should be using a variable for all of these, but fuck it, I don't really care. Okay, so this is gonna be on the x-axis. Have we fixed? We haven't really fixed the y depth here, so I think it's this to the center of all of these. God damn it. Can I get a view where I can do this sanely? Nope. There we go. Right here. 1. Jesus. Can we say that these are constrained vertically? That might make my life easier. Hype. And then actually, I've kind of decided that I don't want to do a distance constraint on all of these. I do just want to make them equal. That's probably easier and like less of a pain in the ass. So if I just say this edge and this edge are the same, and then this edge and this edge are the same. Now this guy's fully constrained. Hype. Ditch this shit. Oopsies. And then we'll just say centers are the same. These are constrained vertically. And then this is the same as this. And this is the same as this. And then how is this constrained? We set this up to be 2.5 millimeters from here. Seems reasonable. This drawing is a fucking disaster. But, you know, I think that's like correct. Okay. How tall are these fuckers? Like 3 millimeters. So we take this, we say we're finished drawing for now. We'll come back to do the other pins. Pad 3. Look at that, guys. Look at this. This is coming together. It's coming together. Okay, let's do the same on the other side. I should probably save. We'll call this stick like housing or something. I don't really know what this is called, but we'll call it this. Uh-oh. Why is he mad? Sure. I guess it's kind of more this one. Okay. So we just need to give like a lot of the same treatment over on the bottom as well. So I think we do like similar shit where we draw a box with a cross in the middle. Okay. Whoop, 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 whoop. These are equal again. This guy's like, yo, you're over constrained. Fuck off. Whoa, what the fuck just happened? What the fuck is going on? I must have done something fucking stupid. Oh god, what's happening? Let me back in. Let me in. Yeah, I must have done something wrong there. I don't know what, but that's okay. Boop, 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 boop. Oh my god. Clicking on the lines. Dude. Clicking on the lines is so fucking hard. And if you miss it, resets the selection. What a fucking insane UI. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we want to basically reuse existing line length. So this is that. This is that. Is there anything I need to do now other than this? No. So I copy paste this probably a few times. Okay. Cool. And then what the fuck? Did I not set? Oh, these guys all have to have, I guess I have to bind all of these lines as well. That's annoying. This line and this line equal. All right. Okay. And then here we're going to constrain all of these guys to the same axis. Hype. Then here we'll set this distance to 1 millimeter. This guy gets constrained to the center. This, and then these guys get the 2.5 millimeter treatment. Whoop. Whoop. Nope, not this axis. Whoop. Hype. Do you guys like this sketch? Can you interpret this pile of shit? Alright, save. Hype. Alright, so now we just need to get the clicker. So, when you press down on the stick, let's see if I can show it. There's a tiny button out on the side, and when you press the stick, it like presses that button. Whoop, 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 whoop. So that guy lives kind of like here. So we have to model that as well. So it doesn't really matter too much. I don't think that his profile is going to come into play, like where this guy's extruded. I don't think that's going to matter. But might as well just model an approximate box for that. Like, why the fuck not? So let's call him maybe like 0.5 centimeter tall. And I actually don't know how many millimeters wide this is. Looks like 9. Weirdly, okay. So 9, and we said this was... kind of said this is 0.5, and then this was 9, we said. Okay. This button, actually, is probably a known thing as well. So we might be able to leverage that. It's content dense, just like Sparrow. We like it. Lots of content, some of it clever, some of it a little dense. Rude, but true. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if that's the play, is we try to guess which button they have in here. I bet you that it's just like one of the popular ones. Okay. So PS5 dual sense. What is like the PS5 controller name? Okay, so I found this yesterday, which is very important and useful. Because I don't know what the pinouts of these things are, but we can kind of figure them out. So this is like the bottom profile of this thing. This is like that, right? But mirrored, right? And so we can guess some things about about this from the schematic, right? Like the fact that these two pins on the switch are bridged together and these two pins are isolated. A switch is really supposed to be a connection of two things, but these buttons have four on them. So we know that it's switching like this. We know that this is switching this way, right? Not this way. These are bridged, switch across, right? We also know that it's like typical button shape and color, right? It's like we've got this like just like black little nub, square, little black segment here. Like we've seen this. We've seen this probably. If we just go to DigiKey and we go to like tactile switches, and we just look at like which one they have a fuck ton of and are cheap, it's probably one of those, right? Right? Like, what are the chances that it's this guy? Seems pretty fucking high to me, right? Uh, the pins might not be bent like that. Also, if we sort by, okay, yeah, those are 13 fucking cents. Right? We also have like these guys who we need something like through hole mounted. If I remember correctly, when we looked at this data sheet before, there are like a fuck ton of like variants, but all of these are, sit on top. So can we look? Can we say that we want something that's through hole? I don't know which. Is it this? This, right? I don't know which is which, but okay. We picked. We saw another. The other guy we pulled. This guy. What's his connection? What do they call it? What is this thing called? Termination style. PC pin. Okay, let's click that. I wonder why they're all curved. Are they supposed to be? Is PC pin different than like just give me like a fucking straight ass line? Can you give me a TLDR why you need to manually measure, reverse engineer a random part? You need to, I don't know, like maybe because I'm stupid? Maybe. But like, so I bought this enclosure from AliExpress. Like, it's just like PS5 Hall sensor replacement. This thing. Right? This is just like, maybe, I mean, I didn't look at specs here, but yeah, it's like, this is just like a thing that slots into a PS5 board. Right? And so I'm like not trying to just replace the stick in the PS5. I'm trying to like make my own controller, right? And so what I need to know is different than like what most people would want from this thing. I need to know like what's the fucking pin out? Like what's the shape of this thing? How far apart do I put the holes in my board? How tall is it, right? How am I going to design the housing around this thing? Right, so these are all things that like Sony knows because they made the controller. But not like what I like, like Sony's not going to publish that shit, and these guys aren't going to publish that shit. They're just targeting general audience, and they're not going to tell you the part number. Right? I don't even know if there is a part number, right? Because like this is not like a thing. This is like many things stapled together. This is like two. There are two hall sensors in here. In each of these orange things, there's like a hall sensor, and then there's like some like some like plastic parts in here that make like a gimbal with some springs, and then like a button that they've bought from DigiKeys stapled to the side. Right? Well, they probably bought them from somewhere else, but you know what I mean? It's like I don't even know if there might not be a part number for this. I don't know how like AliExpress works. I guess this is probably like some guys in some manufacturing facility just like can make this. Which I guess they probably need to track that somehow. I don't know how like manufacturing fucking works. Don't ask me. uh is okay. What are like my other options here? Connector? Surely not that. Yeah, definitely not that. Fuck. Where'd we go? Termination style. This guy. Can I clear this? J-Lead doesn't sound right. Gullwing? Maybe? What the fuck is a gullwing? Soldier lug also sounds like something it would be. Okay, not this. But I guess that's what a gullwing is. Maybe it's PC pin and they're just not bent. Maybe that's like just a thing that can happen. Solder lug also? No, there's only 8 of those, so no fucking way. 6 of these. It's not surface mount. J-Lead has 1,000. Maybe it is. Maybe I don't know what a J-Lead is. Oh, yeah, no fucking way. I see though. It's like just sitting on the fucking bottom. It's not like sticking out its ass. Yeah, it's gotta be this. It's gotta be. Okay. So like popular things that look like this that are I feel like that thing that we happen to open here, this one seems like a pretty good bet. Let's see if like the sizes line up. Oh, Jesus Christ. Does it tell us here? .5 by 4.5. Nah, this is more like 6 by 6, which I guess we can like narrow down here some more, right? We can look for 6 by 6 millimeter here. So like maybe this thing. It also doesn't have to be the exact right one. We just need like a model to slot in as a placeholder. And need is strong too. This is probably taking more time than if we just did it ourselves, huh? But like fuck it. Let's just yoink a model. Doesn't really fucking matter, huh? Fuck. What about this one? Yeah, sure. Sure. Is joystick you have something similar to this? Probably, except I assume that these have pots inside. I wanted hall sensor. This is all in Chinese, so I don't know what I'm hoping to glean from this. But yeah, this does look very similar. You're right that maybe I could have just stolen this, huh? But we're already too deep. Blaze it. uh, what's this thing called? B3F. Okay. Um, all files. All right, let's just see what that does. So, is this 6 millimeters? 6 by 6, nice, by 3.5, which maybe is right. I actually can't tell because it's inset into this thing, but it's a pretty good guess. And then these pins are probably around like 1.5 millimeters long or something. So this is oh, but it's like from the bottom. So like where's like the origin? Here. So like what is this like position? 2.6? Probably not, but okay. I've changed my mind, I think. Maybe? I mean, it might get like the horizontal and vertical pin locations right, which is kind of what I was trying to avoid modeling. This, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck it, I'll just do it. So pins are maybe I want to say 6.5 millimeters apart and 5 millimeters. Because I know what I have, and I don't know what the fuck I just downloaded. So this, we said 6.5, this 5, and then I guess distance from pin edge to center of pin to edge of enclosure. That's probably a millimeter. This is 1. And is that enough? Is it 1 in both directions? Yeah, fuck it. 1 in both directions. And then width of the pin. What's width of the pin? Probably also around 1. Okay. Okay. Blaze it. Okay, so fuck this thing. Get the fuck out of here. Delete. Get out. I don't like you anymore. I don't want to play with you. Okay. Can I create a sketch on this thing? So there's like some box that's gonna come out of this. Oh, oops. You know, we're basically just gonna extrude some box here. It doesn't fucking matter that much. But we need to make sure it's like, at least like fat enough, right? So like, you know, boom, oopsies. Okay. So did I measure width of this thing? I said we can probably figure it from the measurements we have. We said this is 6.5, and then so that means that this has to be 8.5 to have 1 millimeter padding on each side. And then this it extrudes by 0.5 this way, and then the height doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter. So this is symmetric here. And then is this thing fully constrained? It is. Okay. So we pad this out now by... What? 0.5 what? Surely that's 0.5 centimeters. So 5 millimeters, surely. Which looks about right. How do I get the right angle here? There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck it. That looks about right. Okay. Okay, and then I guess new sketch. Project in this, this, and this. Maybe we only need the 1, to be honest. Okay, so we know we have 4 pins. I actually don't know where these back ones are. I don't think that we measured that. Five. Oh, we did. That's this. Okay, cool. So, bop, 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 bop. Okay, this is vertical. And then we said these are actually kind of... Which way are they? They're fat ways this way. It's kind of like this. This is 1. This is just less than that. This distance between these guys... Oopsies. Between this point and... Fuck. Between this point and this point, that's 1 millimeter? Oh my god. 1 millimeter? Okay. And then also the distance from this point to this point the other way. This is also 1 millimeter. I believe is what we said. No. I lied on both of these. I lied on both. I measured distance to center. I measured distance to center. Bop, 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 bop. We've been duped. Yeah. I almost duped myself. Okay, so it's this one and this. One. Let me just triple check that. But I'm pretty sure that's what I measured. Yep. 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 Okay, so that's fully constrained. And then I guess we have another one kind of over here. That's kind of like the same shit, right? So we go bop, 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 bop. Oopsies. These guys should be like this. We do our little center trick again, which maybe we're doing a silly way, but I don't know. It seems okay to me. Boom. All of these guys. He keeps saying redundant if I do all four. So I think 3 of them have to be equal, not 4. And then we do the same 0.5. No, let's do equals constraints. That's nicer. Fuck. What'd I just do? Fuck you. Get out of here. Equals and equals. Okay. And then can we just kind of... Why can't I move anything? There we go. Okay. Copy paste. Dude, I'm gonna lose my mind. It just like doesn't let me... There we go. Grab stuff the way I want sometimes. Like, why can't I drag this, dude? Oh, I have to click it once, then drag again or something? We need to fix some of our constraints, I guess. Equals duplicate constraint. Like, why can't I fucking... God damn, dude. God damn it. Equals. All right. Okay. Thank God, dude. Okay, so these 2 points... What do we say? 5? It does end up inset here, so I guess that is right. It felt wrong, but... I guess it's right. Okay, then we need to do this constraint here. Where this is 1. And then also... Nope. Also, this is 1. Okay. Then I guess here we'll say that these line up on the horizontal axis. Same with these. Bop! And fully constrained. Let's fucking go, baby. All right, dude. Pretty sick. Okay, so we also need the top profile here. We need to know how high up... is that true? Do we need to know how high up the stick goes? Probably not, right? Because, like... This guy... What gets, like, this put on top? So probably we care about, like... where, like, the bottom of this is, right? The, like, little, like, shell shit. And I think that it, like, basically kind of comes over the edge of the whole box. Like, it's kind of lower in Z. So in reality, as long as the top of the controller is like above this, I think we're chill. And then we'll probably just add like a little baby bump in the shell here so that the controller can fit. So I think this is probably about it. We probably want to be about this far. Um yeah, fuck it. Sure. So can we just like export this thing as it is? Let's just double check. I just want to look at the bottom and make sure that I agree with these placements. Almost. Um it's wrong a little bit. I think that the outside pins, like the ones attached to the metal sheet on the outside, you'll notice that like here on this picture, this is to the right of this, right? And that's not what we're seeing here. He's to the left. And so I guess it means that these pins, I do not think are like on the very, very outside, right? Oopsies. Right? I think that we have not taken into account this distance. I think we've kind of assumed that this is over here, like right on the very fucking edge. So, can we fix that? Why is that not the case? I wonder if I can show you here. It's this. So we kind of measured like to this distance here, right to the edge, which kind of lines up with this. And then there's a little bit of a cut in here that we didn't notice. Do you not have a data sheet for the joystick? No, I do not. We just bought this shit from AliExpress. Yeah, somebody else asked earlier. Basically, I assume I didn't look very hard for one. My assumption here is that Sony has the datasheet for the original, and that other people have copy pasted it. But like, I don't think that there's like a date. Like, there's not like a. I didn't buy like an official part, right? I bought some like no name hall sensor replacement from AliExpress, right? And so like I don't really know what the fuck this thing is at all. I have like no information. Because like the use case for this thing is supposed to be somebody wanted to replace the stick in their controller because it had stick drift. So I don't even know if it's good. But luckily, if we buy any PS5 replacement, it will always line up, which is kind of hype. All right, time to figure out what that distance is. That's probably 0.5 mil. Wait, how? I can't really like get my tape measure in place there. That could be a full millimeter. It could be. Yeah, if we think this distance and this distance are about the same, which I think they are, let's try insetting them by a millimeter and see what happens. I'm pretty sure this is the exact one he has. How did you find this? Is it? It'd be kind of sick. No, I don't think so. Let me pop off these guys a little bit. No. Oh, mine has like a big magnet in there, which might not be the same. I didn't see it clearly enough, my bad. Oh, no worries. No worries. That's a good guess. I don't even know how you fucking found this. You went to LCLC and probably just browsed the joysticks? That wouldn't shock me if I'm just rebuying something that exists online. I wonder if you like. Yeah, I wasn't really convinced that this was like a thing that was like present on the internet. Yeah, I think that this is potentiometer based. I think. The thing I have is like a magnet with Hall sensors. But probably close. Probably shape wise, it could be the same. But fuck it, we're already here. Alright, which one of these bad boys is the thing I want? Probably this. Can you buy from that side as a single person? Probably. I think that I've heard that that it's like Chinese DigiKey, and on DigiKey, you sure can. So we wanted to try insetting all of these by 1 millimeter, which means removing this constraint that ties it to this line, which means that this should kind of be free now. Fuck. It's not as easy as I hoped. Does this guy have... there's so many... It's not easy. Okay, we'll just delete this line, and then delete this line, and then go again. Oops. Okay. So this is 1, and then we wanted this distance to be 1 as well. Not 1 micrometer, you dumb fuck. There we go. And then is this not fully constrained? Why not? This. So what was our length here? Probably 0.5. Okay. Oh, and then we have to do that for all of them? Fine. Fine. For the joystick, the mock is once you could just order one, but it wouldn't make much sense with the shipping prices from China. Yeah, probably. Alright. But to be fair, I did just order like a few from China, so it's like kind of like the same shit. Right? Kinda. Delete, bop, bop, bop. Also, I'll be clear. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. It's to edge, we said 1 millimeter, right? Not to center? Yeah, it was to edge. It was to edge. 1. Alt F4 raid. Hello, hello. Sorry, you guys came in just on an ad break. I apologize. I hope you guys didn't all get hit by it. Hello, hello. What's up, you guys? What is up? We are working on our Xbox controller. So, let's see if we can give you guys the context. Look at this bad boy. Ah, shit, you guys got hit by the ads. That sucks. Okay, shit, sorry, you got hit by an auto-timed ad. I'll say hello and give context when it's done. Unlucky. Unlucky. Okay, so this guy's pissed off. What's he pissed off about? Face 16, so attach engine. So this guy's pissed off because he doesn't know. I think one of these faces got broken. They got like redone. So this guy doesn't know. He's probably supposed to be on this face. So I think we just go attachment editor and we just click this face and he fixes himself, I think. Sketch has malformed constraints now, probably because we were projecting a line before. And it looks like we didn't. This here is the problem, which we can just constrain to the x-axis instead. So just say, here if we say fuck, 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 fuck. Yes, that is what we say. We always say fuck, 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 fuck. What the fuck is going on? It's this sketch, right? Why the fuck? Yeah, wait, this is fine. What's he bitching about? Is it this guy? Ah, yeah. Okay, this is the one. So here, can we just say that these are equal length? Boom. Okay, that solves that guy. Now this guy's got an error. External geometry. So this is kind of like the same garbage where, oops. Probably the external geometry that we had imported like doesn't really work right anymore. And then can we just do this? Headless Hunter, thanks for the raid. I was about to give context for the Alt F4 guys. So if you don't mind waiting until the ad that they accidentally got hit with fixes itself, if it runs its course, I'll give you guys the context there too. No, I really did. Yeah, sorry. It's unfortunate. Unlucky. But we'll get here in a second. Okay, so this guy, we want to make sure that he's attached to the right face. What the fuck? Hold on. I think we fucked up. I think this sketch was supposed to be... Yes, I think we accidentally bound them both the same face. So this one's supposed to be this face. And then this guy was supposed to be this face, probably. Oopsies, there we go, okay. Does that fix everything? Recompute? Oh, I fucking hate everything, dude. What a shitty program. Okay, I'm tilted. I'm tilted. It's fine though. So this is just supposed to be attached to the fucking bottom. Okay, save, refresh. This guy's also mad. So like, what's he supposed to be doing? This is supposed to be attached to this face, sure. Dude, this is the worst. I actually don't know anymore. Fuck. God damn it, dude. Oh my god, what is happening? Oh, okay. So this sketch is on this face. So we just say, please, sir, go to this face. Another one. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind, dude. So this is... So I guess what happened is I changed something early on, and then all of the face IDs got like regenerated and reset. And that just like fucked everything up. Oh, ad's over. What's up, guys? Okay, sorry. For those of you who just came in on the Alt F4 raid, what the fuck are we doing? We are working on our Xbox controller, right? So I want to make an Xbox controller from scratch, just kind of like because, right? And so we've kind of like, we started by modeling something out of clay and 3D scanning it. Then we like kind of made it into like a better mesh and 3D printed it, kind of made some amendments until it felt good in my hand, which brings us to, hello, where the fuck am I? I would like to show version 3, please. Why is it this button? Sorry, Blender's gonna tank my CPU and memory for a second here. There we go. Which brings us to this guy. So, you know, this is like his approximate shape. He's gonna have his buttons kind of laid out here. And we've printed something along those lines here, right? So this thing fits pretty well in my hand. He's gonna have some paddles on the back. He's got like some like grippy section here so that my hand doesn't slide around. Kind of like placement of the sticks feels about right. And so we are kind of slowly today trying to figure out where the PCB is gonna sit in here, which is kind of determined by the height of. I guess we have a picture here. It's going to be determined by the height of this thing from AliExpress that I bought. So these are Hall sensor replacement sticks for the PlayStation 5. I didn't know where to get a model for these, or if there even is one. So we have just been like kind of modeling this today in FreeCAD. We've got like something that, you know, approximates the pin locations and stuff. Makers and crafting, Sarah, it's good to see you hanging out with the macram count. What the fuck is a macram? Yeah, dude, hell yeah, dude. We're all friends. We're the same. Anyways, so the important pieces to get here are the pin locations, because these are gonna like result in holes in the PCB that we're gonna get fabbed, as well as the overall like height and shape of this thing. So eyeballing this now, I do believe that the pins are in the right spot. Oh, hold on. We fucked something up here. One of these, okay. One of these got attached to the wrong phase, so we'll just kind of... okay. No. Recompute. There we go. I think that's right now. Why did we lose these pins? Am I fucking high? What the fuck happened? Oh, this. Okay. God damn it, dude. God, everything's so fucking hard. So we just have to like do all of this shit again where like the face IDs just got fucked up. What a fucking garbage program, dude. Okay, so why doesn't this work anymore? Attachment editor. Because this thing is not extruded. Why is he not extruded? Because this is on the wrong face again? What the fuck? This goes here. Okay. Recompute, please. Recompute here? Visualize? Okay, there we go. That's better. Which means that this we can probably now heal to this. Now everything's happy all the way down to here. Then whatever the fuck this is broken. So, oh, god damn it, dude. Fucking, we're fine. We're fine. Everybody chill. There we go. We're so back. Peace up, bro. Nothing wrong with a little macram for what it's worth. I love this project. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks for the prime. Much appreciated. Okay, so eyeballing this, I feel like this distance is too low between this pin and this pin. Like, that feels like it should be farther. And also looking at like these pin placements for these outside pins, they are inset from like the overall shape of this thing. So I suspect that that's another millimeter in that we gotta go. Yeah, let me... So we measured the top of this thing as 12 millimeters. What is like the inside width here on the bottom? We measured that as 12 millimeters as well. Did we not? It says 12. Yeah, that's 12. So this is correct. So these pin locations, that feels right to me. Right? They should be directly in from the 12, and then this should be how far out, I guess, from that 12. Maybe that's the problem, is that they're not far enough out? Like, this apparently is like 3, which is probably not the case. What did we fuck up there? I guess these, is this centered in this? I thought it was. Yeah, that is. So that probably means that this extrusion is not large enough. This edge, this is 2 millimeters, which I guess is not true. Yeah, I think that's 3. I think that is 3, which hopefully doesn't fuck up all of these face IDs again. More like 4 based off what you said. Is it? What is the distance between these pins? So this pin and this pin should be like around 3 millimeters apart. So this is at... What axis is this? The y-axis? So this is at 6 millimeters. This is at 7.2. And then this whole extrusion is like 2 millimeters plus some gap? Maybe it's 4. Yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, I agree. I think it's 4. Because I think this whole is... I think this is 2, and this is 2 as well. Which would make this 3, which I think makes sense. Yeah, I agree. Oh, fuck me, dude. Where'd you get this? This feels like pretty fucking sick. Well, I'm gonna 4 later. Thank you. I don't know where the fuck you got this, but this is hype. It does say PS5 dual. It does say dual. Oh, it says DualShock PS4. I think the PS4 one and PS5 one are slightly different, actually. So maybe this is not right. But much appreciated. Okay, fuck it. So we were going to the pads for these guys and trying to change this pad to 4 millimeters, and then probably this pad to 4 millimeters as well. Okay, which seems to have recomputed correctly. And then eyeballing the bottom again. Like this. Yeah, that feels a lot better. I'm less sure about this. Let me look with my eyeballs. No, that could be right. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's probably right. Let's do that. It might be 0.5 millimeters too far, but you'll have to figure it out. It's hard to see from here. Yeah, I mean, I am going to print a plastic thing and like drop this guy in to make sure that everything I got was right. But seems good. All right, cool. So let's export this. Select object, fine. And we'll do this. And then we can pull that in here. So import STL of this guy who is in the wrong units. That's kind of fun. Can we just like select this and bring it down to millimeters? And I guess kind of hand wavy. Which way does this go? I guess technically it doesn't matter. We can orient this however we want. Cool. Can we, how do I like, I guess we go back to cutting a hole with these. Version 3, we do the, which one of these booleans? Is it any of these booleans? We have a difference with the trigger assembly. Unions, maybe we just don't have it. Boolean, we'll just do, oh my god, it's gonna fucking crash my computer. All right, difference with the cylinders. Okay, hype. So now, here we go. Nope. Okay, so like approximately there? Right? Because we said the cap on this guy kind of drops a little bit below the top of the thing. Right? So I guess around like that should be fine. Maybe a little bit down. But again, like the shell here is gonna come up, right? We're gonna like bring all of this area, kind of like bubble it up a little bit. So because it needs to be spherical for the stick underneath to move smoothly. So I guess that's probably fine. Fuck it. Yeah, and then if we also like if we need to move the whole top of the shell down a little bit later, like I don't think it's that precise, right? Like a couple millimeters up and down, just feeling it out on my hand doesn't make any difference to me. Yeah, who cares? Okay. Sure. I wonder if it makes sense for us to kind of move everything so that the PCB is centered on the z-axis. Because right now the origin is just kind of like arbitrary. To me, that feels kind of reasonable. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Moving this shit breaks everything. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, thank God. My computer is still responding. But sliding this shit around does wonders on that Boolean. So I'm just not going to do that. Okay. How fat are PCBs? Um, 1.6 millimeters is a thing I've seen before. 1.57 millimeters, I guess. Maybe we'll say that. Do we want to? Where do we want to put the PCB? Because like, we're gonna be trying to like place the trigger buttons on the back of it, which I think needs to be done in Blenderland, where we have this shell and like we can like kind of like adjust the trigger placement a little bit. So yeah, I guess we do it here. Okay. So this is PCB mock, I guess we'll call it. And this guy, you know, his... Do we have, like, the ability to set stuff like this? I guess we can set all of these guys to 1.57 over 2, or 0.00157 over 2. Nice. And then these guys all to negative 0.00157 over 2. And then probably this guy's scale. Yeah, that looks about right. Looks about right. Parametric programming is discussingly complex. PCBs can be like 0.4 millimeters up to about 2.4 millimeters. I think some places do 0.2. Hope that helps. Interesting. Interesting. Alright, where's that fucking... Can we just, like... We can probably get away with, like, just hiding the fucking whole... This guy for now. So, like, theoretically, this thing goes, like, somewhere like this. Right? Can we set its XY location to 0, 0 here? And then we can kind of figure out how to cut it out later, I guess. Really, the thing I'm interested in is how the trigger placement affects the buttons. So I guess step 1 here is to make sure that our trigger lines up. This is actually like surprisingly close to being correct. Now, what we need to do is we need to make sure that once we put a button in, that the height is right. Now let me think about this. So we have like many options for buttons. I've bought a few and they're in the mail and I have to play with them to figure out what's right. Right? So what happens if we change the button height? Then, like, we just swap one button out for another. It means that the front of the trigger, this guy's like relatively fixed, right? He can move by a little bit, like a couple millimeters, but like his location is kind of set by what feels comfortable in my hands when I grip. Now we can always like reprint the controller and like find some other way that it feels comfortable, but I think trying to keep those things where they are is kind of nice. So we could kind of reprint the trigger part and just kind of change the shape of this extrusion. That seems fine by me. And if the button height changes, then do all of the movements... I believe all of the triggers can still be the same. Let me think about this. So, like, let's say, like, we were to, like, rotate this guy. You know, say that we have, like, a bunch of different angles here to the same shit. Right? All, like, you know, we got all of these guys, you know, they're all going to be angled relatively the same, but, like, say that they weren't. On all of these guys, just moving up and down in Z doesn't change shit. Like, they will all transform their arms by the same amount. So I think it's fine if we change the height there. Yeah, as long as the button location in trigger coordinate space is equal between all of them, then it should be fine. Yes. So, fuck it. I think this is reasonable. Oopsies. So, as long as we place all of them, it doesn't really matter what the geometry is of the trigger right now. as long as the backwards distance, like the movement in X and Y relative to the base of this thing is the same, which I think it will be. Old school standards were in fact 0.78 millimeters, 1.57 millimeters, and 2.36. Those are the quarter inch, 1.6 and 2.4 inch quoted above. Just to be clear. Nice. Okay, cool. Makes sense. I think if I were to look at like what 1.6 millimeters is, I think that the PCBs that I've seen are around that thick. Like 2.4 seems too much. It seems too fat, and 0.78 seems too thin. So I think it's likely that we will end up with a 1.57 millimeter PCB. And then we can also pick, right? Which is kind of nice. Okay. My keyboard that I built a year ago has a PCB of 1.2 millimeters. Interesting. So you get to maybe choose. But again, we were saying now that if the height of the button changes, it's okay. Right? We're trying to figure out like the XY button placement location, and if that thing moves up a little bit, we can just reprint the triggers, which is fine. I just want to make sure that we can use the same trigger for all 6 spots. And I think that if I just end up with a slightly thinner PCB, it doesn't matter. So let's just do this for now. I'm not going to adjust the triggers at all. I'm just going to place them where I think they should go and then deal with it from there. Fuck it. Yeah. Okay. So let's bring this guy back into the picture. And I think we've already made sure that all of the Z heights, we want to make sure that all of the trigger heights are the same, which I think that we've like kind of tried to do before, but maybe didn't like do it perfectly. So we'll just make sure that like all movement of these triggers happens on this axis. And then we want to rotate around bounding box center. Okay. So it'll probably be something like that. Okay, what about like the pinky triggers here? This is fucking weird. Like, where is this gonna go? Right, like it would have to sit something like this, which doesn't feel great. Does not seem great to me. What about on this trigger? Yeah, this is fucking stupid. These don't work. Now, what if the pinky ones could be buttons, I think. I could hold it. So my initial prototype was like this. Right? But I could like I could curl my pinkies a little more and press the bottom of the board like this. Right? I didn't do that for the ring finger buttons, even though that's kind of what I've seen before. Why? Because it's because like my right hand placement it's so hard to show. My right hand placement is like this kind of a lot, like over the top, and that made it hard for me to press buttons that were on the I find this paddle really hard to press. I can't press it because my hand is kind of more like this when I hold the controller, and like that button is not accessible to me. So I was worried that like it's the same problem here where to press a button on this surface, my hand has to be rotated really far this way, and like I hold it like this. So that's something to think about here. But because I don't have that right handle, right? I don't have like this bump to deal with, and I could actually put a button. That means that this button that I can't reach here could just go over here but farther up, and that would be okay. Um, that's definitely an option. So it's definitely an option that all four of the paddles could be buttons on the back. It's just what do I think is more comfortable to press while holding the sticks? That's the question to ask myself. Also, interestingly, on the left hand, oh, that's really weird. So because of the way I hold my controller, my left hand is rotated really far like forwards, or hold on. My right hand, which is on your left, ends up rotated more forwards because I want to hold it on top here, which means that my whole hand twists this way, which means that the right hand could be buttons and the left hand could be paddles, right? Because my left hand needs to be dropped back with the way that the controller is right now, in order for my thumb to end up in the right spot. And also to get like a good grip on this base. Kind of like my left hand is doing like a traditional holding style, and the right is not. But it means that because of that, on my left hand, my fingers like down is this way, right? And on my right hand, it's more like this. Right? Do you see like the slight rotation difference there? So this finger can curl in more on the left to get like a button press here. But I think this trigger, I want it to stay. This trigger, these could be buttons if I wanted them to be on the right. That would work for my hand and like my holding position, but also trigger feels fine as well. I think. That's so weird. All of this is so strange. It also means my left hand holds the controller kind of naturally like a normal controller. Which means that like the traditional trigger placement on the left hand also works okay. What a weird set of constraints. How strange. Okay, I just need to think about this a lot more, I think, before committing. It's funny that I hadn't really considered the fact that these pinky triggers are just impossible to line up with the PCB. That's obviously fucking stupid now that I look at it, but I just had to. This is what happens when you start with the clay. Interesting. So I have to think about which ones I want to turn into buttons. It might be like because on both hands, if I curl my fingers more, they're much more happy with buttons, and if I leave them flat and straight, they want triggers. I suspect what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these the way they are and turn these into buttons. But that's going to require a lot of thought. So I'm not going to make a decision now. And I guess that means that my whole plan for the rest of the day is kind of shot because where the buttons end up on this PCB is going to be very dependent on that. So I'm gonna think about it. I might do another model iteration tonight. I might wait till tomorrow so I can to stream it. Not sure. We'll think about it. Wait, is this all gonna be one PCB? Yeah, dual. I think it's gonna be like dual layer, one front, one back. But all of the triggers are gonna push onto the bottom of the PCB is the thought. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna think about it. And call it there. So, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks. Yeah, if you like what you saw, we're streaming most days at 12:30 o'clock Pacific time to 4 o'clock Pacific time. During all this modeling stuff, the schedule's kind of whack because it really depends on like what like iteration time is kind of weird, and because I need to like wait for stuff to print, and like I'm a little less confident in like direction. So, we're ending early today, but typically we aim for 12:30 to 4. So swing back by if you want to see more. We've got a lot more work to do here. Like we need to design, like set the PCB layout, print it, then work on a lot of there's going to be some more firmware work to be done as well. But yeah, we'll see. I think I decide what switches you want to use before you get too far in modeling. Yeah, they're in the mail, and I should have them tomorrow, so that should help a lot as well. All right, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one, and let's find someone to raid.